I'm Jay Taylor. I'm the editor of Jay Taylor's Gold Energy and Tech Stocks newsletter. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto. It is the first day of March 2025, and I'm really delighted to be here with Kjirstin Breure. She is the president and CEO of a different kind of a company here at the Metals Investor Forum. I would say it's a high-tech science story, and it's about graphene. The name of the company is HydroGraph Clean Power. Thank you so much, Kjirstin, for joining me today.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, it's hard to know where to start with your story because there's so much potential there. Maybe start out with graphene. Tell our people what graphene is, what its properties are, and then how you're able to produce it where others are not. And, you know, what sort of upside potential there might be and what kind of applications.
Lots packed into that question.
A lot packed into that
So
question.
to start with, graphene is just one atomic layer of carbon atoms. And so effectively graphite is billions and billions of layers of carbon layers. And so graphene is the strongest and most conductive material that's ever been discovered. And you can really use it in almost any known material, whether it's batteries, internal drug delivery systems, carbon fiber, plastics, you name it. So you almost can't calculate the TAM. It's truly unlimited potential. And what HydroGraph does that's very different from other companies are mostly starting with graphite as a feedstock, and then they're really using a lot of chemicals and energy to get it down to that one atomic layer or few atomic layer. HydroGraph has a detonation technology where we pump in acetylene, which is our favorite hydrocarbon gas, with oxygen into a steel chamber. We ignite the mixture with a spark from an electrode. It destabilizes, kaboom. So acetylene, being a very volatile gas, is bringing a lot of energy with it. So we have virtually no energy input. We effectively make a bomb. All of the carbon that was in the acetylene gets crystallized immediately into graphene, into very, very high purity, very high performing graphene. And that's effectively what we're commercializing.
And that was discovered sort of by accident by a professor at Kansas State University, I guess, right?
Exactly, by the brilliant Dr. Sorensen. He was looking at different aerosol gels and he was detonating different hydrocarbon gases. He tried acetylene and oxygen. It worked very well, put it under a scanning electron microscope and realized that it was the world's highest purity graphene. I didn't know if he realized it at the time, but we do now.
99.8% carbon and 0.2% oxygen, I think, is the composition.
Yes.
And one of the, well, you have this process patented, don't you?
We do.
Which is a very important fact.
Very important. We have all hydrocarbons patented.
All hydrocarbons.
The detonation.
Oh, I see. For detonate. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Good. So the next, what are you doing right now? You've manufactured, you have a supply of graphene that you're using, I think, for testing for different applications, companies you're talking to right now?
Yes, we have minimal revenue, but of course we are really looking towards significant revenue in 2026 on. And this year is really growing that pipeline. We're anticipating some purchase orders that would be tied to industrial scale-ups and also some engineering service revenue. Really in our target areas, which are composites and coatings.
I see. So you did talk a little bit in your conversation and your presentation today about the cost of producing and what the upside or what the range of pricing would be for industries.
Yes. So our reactor is less than $500,000 to produce. We can produce additional reactors in a matter of months, and each reactor can produce about 10 metric tons annually. We sell 1 ton for a starting price of about $250,000. And depending on how we functionalize the graphene or how we increase the connectivity, it can go all the way up to just shy of $1 million per ton. And so some of our opportunities, we're speaking with about 50 different customers, and I would say between 5 and 7 of those opportunities would be looking for more than 1,000 metric tons in annual consumption.
So the revenues, if you hit those kind of numbers, could be fast and furious.
Yes.
You have, you're currently in Kansas, but planning to move to Texas, I guess, and that's because you can access the acetylene
Texas is the most likely, yes.
Yeah.
And so we are somewhat tied to our feedstock. I want to move away from using acetylene in cylinders. And as you mentioned, have access to the pipeline. That's going to not only further improve our margins, but we have a lot of operational efficiencies that we'll see with that setup. And I think it's a strong indication to customers all over the world that we have at least theoretically unlimited capacity.
And you're talking to companies from around the world.
We
It's
are.
not just American companies.
Not just American companies.
So it's really quite an interesting story, and people can, the website where they can go is
HydroGraph.com.
HydroGraph.com. One of the most exciting stories. Well, you know, this is a mining investor forum and mostly mining companies. And I said, do you think I could bring this story? And Matt said, yes, that would work.
Yeah.
And I think that people are very excited by it. And I'm glad that you could spend some time with us to tell the story.
Likewise.
It's really great. And lots of news. Any catalyst we should be keeping our eyes on? News events maybe over the next 6 months to a year?
Yes. A number of purchase orders, a number of LOIs. We will be announcing the LOI that's associated with our intended location for our large-scale facility. And then as the year moves forward, we will start to see some contract negotiations take place that we'll be announcing by the end of the year.
Those are the big ones, I think.
Yes, that would be the big ones.
Do you think this year yet, possibly?
I do think by the end of the year we will have a contract. And once we do, my plan is to list on NASDAQ.
And wonderful.
Yes.
Excellent.
Very exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kjirstin.
Thank you.
For being with us and taking the time to travel all the way up here.
Of course.
From Texas. It wasn't an easy trip.
It was not, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much.